until Sunday as a tea-time controversy dominates. As Bell walks off for tea, India claim a run-out with the ball still live. The umpires quite rightly give him out, much to England's disgust. Behind the scenes, diplomacy triumphs as Dhoni withdraws the appeal. As they emerge for the evening session, India are first booed and then cheered as it emerges what Dhoni has done. Apart from that, it's Bell and England's day as runs flow like water and England take a lead of 374. Now, normally a brilliant 417 runs in the day, not to mention 56 fours and 2 sixes would be enough, but not today. We have got an extraordinary story to talk about tonight, Bob and Mark. What's your initial reaction, Bob?
Well, the umpires got it absolutely right. By the letter of the law, Bell was run out. There's no doubt about that. But I think that the diplomacy, as you called it, during the tea interval, gave us the right outcome for the match situation. So I think everybody should really be happy.
And Mark, as the man who was out willfully obstructing the field yesterday, what's your reaction on this one? This almost trumps you, doesn't it?
Well, the spirit of the game. You know, you have on the one hand cold, hard professionalism and playing to the rules, which India did. I think it's very important that people at home understand that there was nothing underhand in what they did. But on the other hand, you've got the spirit of the game, and that is important. At what cost do you want to win? How much do you want to win? Here we see Pravin Kumar stop the ball, but he doesn't really look as though he feels he's stopped it going for 4.
And the interesting thing there is Bell's almost a bit like the old school playguard. I'm in and can't be out now, and then he sets off.
Well, no, I think Bell thought the ball had gone for 4. Kumar didn't show any urgency at all getting the ball back to the middle. But the fact is that the ball was still alive. So the on-field umpires, after consulting the TV replay umpire Billy Bowden, got it absolutely right. Bell was wrong when he said to Tim Robinson on the boundary edge that he called over, because he hadn't called over.
Now, this is immediately after tea when India are getting the bird. England are applauding. People don't quite know why. And then it suddenly emerges as the boos turn to cheers. And it's all because Ian Bell has been reinstated. So I suppose there are probably 2 things we need to look at here, aren't there? First of all, let's put ourselves in Bell's shoes. Is there anything in the Kumar fielding which gives rise to the belief from Bell's point of view that this has gone for 4?
Well, look at the fielder. You know, he's thinks the ball's probably rolled onto the boundary. It's not exactly rushing to get it in, so he eventually hurls it in. Bell thinks it's gone for 4. That's the tea interval. I've got, you know, 20 minutes rest before I have to start concentrating again.
OK, Mark, is that mistake by Bell understandable and forgivable?
Well, it's understandable. I have a lot of sympathy with Ian Bell there. It looks as though he was itching to get off for tea. The fielder's reaction would say, yes, it looks as though for 4. But normally, most players would touch in
which he did.
And look at the umpire. And the umpire would give you a nod and say, yeah, OK, you're all right to now leave the field. So I've got every sympathy there. And interestingly, Morgan at the other end, he still thinks the ball's live because he puts up his hand saying no to a 4th run. OK,
let's have a look at it now from straight down the wicket. And the other thing to do is the other thing that Bell was saying is he thought the over had been called. Let's see if there's any indication the umpires give him that's the case. So there we are. That's jogging through for the 3rd. Touchdown, thank you very much. I'm in. And that's when, as you say, Morgan puts his hand up. And there's a little stutter there from Bell, isn't there, as if he's not quite sure what's going on. But he decides to plough on with his head for the pavilion.
And that's the little bit that's where I have a question mark, is where Ian Bell was running towards Eoin Morgan and then suddenly stopped. And I think he turned round and made a decision, well, I'm not going to run back, I'm just going to carry on walking.
Because I guess if he had turned back and suddenly started to sprint for his ground, then all of a sudden he looks like he knows he's in trouble. Therefore, in a way, is Bell trying to brazen it out there?
I don't really think so, no. He genuinely thought the ball had gone for 4, and that's why he was walking off. In my mind, there's no doubt about that.
Right, we'll come back to the story because there's still questions to be answered, but I think it'd be useful at this stage to hear from both camps. India at the close of play put out Rahul Dravid to give the Indian perspective and to explain what had happened inside the Indian dressing room during the tea break. And of course there was Ian Bell. Ian Ward spoke to him and wanted to know what exactly had happened.
Obviously, you know, Morgie's hit that ball off his legs, and you know, we thought probably gone for 4. Obviously, with the way the fielder sort of reacted, I guess after you know, the ball had got down there and he'd got up, and as I turned round, obviously put my bat down after the 3rd, and you know, it looked like we were just meandering off at tee, and all my thought was just walking off at tee, you know, and that was it really.
So was it Kumar's initial reaction to meandering back to get the ball that first got you thinking, well, it's 4, that means it's tee, well done, we'll go and have a cup of tea?
Yeah, possibly. And obviously turning round, and I think the umpire took the jumper out of his, obviously just behind his back, and started to walk over to the bowler, and it all just looked like it was going straight towards tee. And yeah, obviously the right, you know, things have happened, I guess, for the spirit of the game. But you know, it's yeah, it was a shame.
The guys knew that if you took the letter of the law of the rules of the game, you know, Ian Bell was out. But when we went back in, there wasn't a nice feeling in the dressing room, and the discussion had already started that probably what happened was not right, you know. And when you know, sort of Flower and Strauss came down to discuss it with Dhoni and Fletch, you know, there was already a discussion going on in the dressing room that maybe, you know, what happened was not in the spirit of the game. And then you know, the team met, and there was complete unanimity in the decision that you know, we need to reinstate Ian and give him an opportunity to keep playing because it just wasn't right.
So Strauss, Flower went to meet Dhoni, Fletcher, and you sat there with your pads on, hoping to get a reprieve?
I believe so, yeah. I was in the back room there, and obviously just trying to figure out what sort of had happened, really. And like I said, just waiting to see whether I was going to go back out then to the middle, and, you know, look what I did.
So how long did you find out, how long did you have before you realised, well, I'm going back out to bat in a test match?
Well, pretty much when the bell went to go out and play, and I guess the umpires had walked out, so it was pretty much straight turnaround. There's a few of us with our pads on and ready to go, I think.
Were you a bit cross with yourself, though, for how it happened, wandering out when, you know, the ball isn't officially dead, or...?
Yeah, I guess looking back, it's a bit naive to just automatically walk off a tee, but like I said, I think the right decisions have been made now, and like I said, yeah, it probably was a bit naive just to walk off and assume that the ball had gone for 4, but you know, we just get on with it now.
Praveen was the one that got everyone confused, ambling away down on the boundary. Everyone thought it had gone for 4.
Yeah, part of his strategy, I think. We got to get a wicket somehow.
All a cunning plan, you see, Baldrick-like. Interesting to look at the law with regards to withdrawing an appeal, because basically what has happened today has been a little bit of bending of the law, because the law's quite specific. The captain of the fielding side may withdraw an appeal, yeah, He must do so before the outgoing batsman has left the field of play. So by doing it at tea time, that's not quite within the laws of the game, but it's common sense, Mark.
Well, yeah, I mean, the trouble is that often do the umpires go on common sense, or do they bend the rules? Do they bend the rules when Harbhajan Singh clearly had an inside edge during Broad's hat-trick? Everyone in the ground knew it was an inside edge. And would there be a reprieve then, you know, if it happened again by England? Would England recall him?
Well, the moral position is interesting. We'll come on to it in a moment. Let's just examine the Strauss and Flower part of this particular story. Should they have gone to the Indian